fresh out the box.
Fresh California plums.
Welcome to Fresh Film Fridays, the podcast where two dudes pick the newest films streaming or in theaters and discuss them. Today we're talking about 2022's The Outfit, which was directed by Graham Moore and is currently streaming on Peacock. I'm your co-host, Alec.
I'm Justin.
I'm curious what you thought of this, Justin.
Well, I recommended it, so what did you think?
I personally liked it.
Yeah, I liked it too.
Whoa! All right, shots fired.
No, I liked it. The British guy reminded me of, like, Matt Banniver in 30 Years.
Dude, I texted Matt. So Matt Banniver, obviously, if you've listened to Wheel of Horror, he's a very frequent guest, but he's also the CEO and creator of Bards, our sponsor. Dude, I texted him immediately. I was like, you have to watch this movie.
When he was like, yeah, I came over here from England with just these shears and every cut I've ever made. I could see Matt doing that, but, like, you know, whatever his tools are.
Yeah, dude. I was not expecting that at all, because it's called, like, The Outfit. So I'm like, I have zero idea what this is about. Didn't read anything about it. Didn't know about the trailer. And then it's like, oh, it's like Michael Caine cutting fabric.
It's not Michael Caine, dude.
It's, dude, the opening, you didn't think it sounded like Michael Caine in The Prestige. It was like, you got to cut the things and then you make a little needle there. Like,
it's the old guy who played Elon Musk in Don't Look Up.
Yeah, exactly. He was also in Ready Player One. He's like the creator of all of the metaverse or whatever.
Yes, I suppose without looking at him, all old British men do sound kind of similar.
I'm sorry, Master Wade, I failed you. Like, I was expecting that, but no. But he was fantastic, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the whole time I'm sitting there, I'm like, all right, he's either extremely manipulative or he's just like lucky. I don't know.
Well, this only got a 7.1, and it wasn't in theaters very long. And the only reason I even remotely wanted to see it is because Dylan O'Brien's in it, the son of the gangster.
Yeah. What else is he in?
He's in Maze Runner movies. He's in the Monster, like, Apocalypse movie. He's not, like, the biggest actor, but he's in some cool stuff.
Okay. Well, all right, really quick before we dive too far into this, let me just give you a little recap of what this movie is. So basically it starts off, it's about this British guy and his assistant, essentially, and they work in Chicago in the 50s, and they make suits, and it looks like it's owned by the mob, the Irish mob in Chicago in the 50s, and we don't know if it's like money laundering or what it is, but this guy just makes suits, and the mob keeps coming in and messing with him and his assistant. You find out that there's some, like, rival gang, and there's a rat in this organization. So there's all this drama going on with the mob, and this cutter, is what his title is a cutter. He basically is watching what's going on, and we don't know if he's the rat, but drama unfolds that we'll get into in this podcast. But it's a very insulated plot. Like, it all takes place in that one tailor's place, right? It doesn't go anywhere else.
No, yeah. I mean, there's like 2 rooms within the Taylor place, but the entire movie is in the Taylor place.
Right. Okay. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I liked that. It really, really felt like a play. You know, characters would leave, they'd come back. I mean, I know you're not a huge theater guy, but could you see this actually being on stage? Like, if you have you seen a play?
Yeah, I've seen plays. Okay,
I don't know. Is Spider-Man on Broadway?
You're such an asshole. Yeah, no, it reminded me of that because literally there's only 2, maybe 3 rooms or, like, sets, you could say, and people just literally enter and leave in kind of a dramatic sense because, you know, someone will come in with, like, the Chicago accent. They're like, the boss is coming. It sounds very, like, it could be like an artsy play. It could be a play.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the wardrobe and stuff, and everybody just smoking cigarettes and their accents, and I feel like I've seen a play like this before.
Yeah, and it's a very Chicago-y accent. Like, it made me want to eat deep dish pizza. Like, I was like, I know it's not as good, and it's mostly just the bread, but I just really want it.
It's mostly cheese, but yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, the accent was really thick. I thought they were Italian. I thought there was going to be an Italian mafia thing. Like,
no.
Al Capone.
He was Irish.
Al Capone is not Irish.
No, the main guy in this movie was Irish.
Oh, yeah. But I initially assumed it was going to be an Italian gang, the mob. But then you
Mm.
find out that there's a larger. Okay. All right. So the outfit, the name of this movie is basically this like FBI equivalent of the mafia or whatever. They're like the federal mafia, and they're kind of like, we'll let you in if we think you're part of our group or whatever. The outfit. Are they real, or was it all just this guy, the tailor, the cutter?
Well, the Chicago boss made it sound like Al Capone was a part of this organization called the Outfit, where like all the gangs kind of join and become like under the same umbrella. And within Chicago, this gang, which was Dylan O'Brien's family's gang, was fighting the La Fontaines, which you find out is like a French gang.
Yeah,
But they kind of had like what's that thing called in Louisiana?
Creole.
Yeah, it's kind of like Creole, but it was, dude, I didn't know that there were, or maybe this was fake, French gangs in Chicago who were African Americans only.
Yeah, I also didn't know that. And I also was kind of confused where she's like, I've been here my whole life. And I was like, in Chicago? I was like,
Like
really?
you have a very deep French accent.
You speak fluent French with a hardcore accent. She's like, I've been here my whole life. I'm like, I don't know if you have. But
So yeah, I think, and the way I viewed the Cutter's kind of like suit place was all the gangs go to him for their suits and tailors, and it kind of, I viewed it as like a safe place for all these gangs, like a ceasefire zone where like nothing bad happens there, and they kind of like exchange letters and mail and shit through this guy. But then you find out this whole time that he's kind of been playing everybody.
see, all right, maybe I'm a little bit confused, man, because it felt like he was working for the Irish mafia, this Boyle group or whatever.
He was
And
working for himself.
yeah, ultimately, yeah, because I mean, he was the one that knew where the tape was, but his assistant, she was the one who was the real rat. She was the one that was really playing everybody, but he just knew she was doing it and just allowed it to happen because he also was like, well, I don't like these guys either, so I'll just watch you, which is probably he's just a smart, observant guy.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that didn't make sense was he essentially killed off all his clientele. Like, he wasn't really participating in any bad events. He was just allowing it to happen, and they were his customers.
Yeah, from what I gather, it seems like the leader, like the old guy, the Boyle guy, the old guy, he and this Cutter were good friends. Like they seemed like they like had a mutual respect for each other. They're both. I think that guy was from Ireland. Maybe he wasn't, but he seemed like he respected immigrants and was like, "Hey, you're here to make a new life for yourself." Like I really like that sort of thing. But I feel like if given the chance, the Cutter wanted to get out of this life. Like he wanted to get away. It seemed like he came to America genuinely to become a cutter, to make tailors or whatever, and then he got kind of roped into this Irish mafia out here, and he's like, God damn it, I was trying to get away from this life, and now he's stuck in it. So I think he wanted his assistant to kind of screw them over, so he had a reason to get out again.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, the whole movie, it just seems like he's a nice guy, and then you do find out at the end he is an outlaw. He's a bad guy, and that's why he ran away to America, because his wife and daughter were murdered because of his previous life.
Yeah, well, that's the big surprise in the end, which we can touch up on a little bit. I do just quickly want to mention, completely irrelevant to the movie, um, buddy on Twitter, Greg Zink, who hosts the at Smoky Room Pod. He mentioned us in his last episode, which is the Marilyn Monroe episodes that he's doing, where it's a conspiracy theory that she was murdered. So he mentioned us, and that was nice of him. So I just want to plug him in real quick. And that was at Smoky Room Pods. And I listened to his episode the other day, and I'm not the biggest true crime pod person, just because I feel like there's a lot of them, even though there's like 10 billion movie review ones. So I can't really say anything.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
But I don't know. I just feel like I'd rather watch a documentary on
Yeah.
something that's real. But his was really good. So just a brief explanation is it's a political true crime podcast focusing on history's most infamous governments, leaders, parties, policy, and discontents. These deep dive storytelling pods will expose the heinous legacies of the political realm's most disturbing events. So go check them out. Definitely entertaining. And yeah.
Well, Marilyn Monroe was killed in 1962, which is only 6 years after this movie takes place. So it all kind of connects, you know?
It doesn't, but okay. Yeah, so this, like I said, I only saw this because of Dylan O'Brien. I do like the old British guy. Not sure if he's actually British in real life.
Yeah. Mark Rylance.
Is he? Is he British?
Yeah, he definitely is.
Oh, okay. This was good though. I like it because there wasn't a ton of action, and I love mobster movies. And this was more of like the Irish mob, like we said. And the dude, I think his name was Frankie. Let me double check.
There's Francis, who's like the main bad guy, basically.
Francis, yeah. So basically, Dylan's dad, who's the head of this Irish gang, I don't know if he like adopted him, but he like took him in, right? His dad was like a tomato seller on the side of the road or something.
Francis' dad, yeah.
Yeah, and he took him in, but Dylan was still, going to take over the gang when he grew up. And you find out Francis is his little dick. And I didn't think he was actually going to kill him.
Yeah, I mean, all right. Because this is a very new movie, so people probably have no idea what we're talking about. But yeah, basically, the movie kind of takes off when Francis and then the son of the leader of the group comes in with a bullet wound in his gut. So you're like, oh shit. So they run into this tailor and he's like, what the fuck are you doing? Sort of thing. He's like, you got to fix him. So they make him sew up his wound. So the son of the mob boss, his son is bleeding out. And Francis, the guy who the Boyles took in, is kind of like, we don't know what his deal is, but he seems like he's being sketchy as fuck. And he's like, I'm going to leave. You're going to watch this guy and we're going to get to the bottom and find out who this rat is. So we don't know who the rat is. It could be Francis. It could be the cutter. It could be the son. We don't know anything. But the fact that they expect this tailor to stitch up a guy and hope that he can just like save him is crazy.
Yeah, I don't think I missed it, but the bullet was still in him, right?
I think he said there's going to be internal bleeding. And Francis is like, I don't care. Just do it. Like, it was just not.
Because you know what? I think it went straight through him because they sewed the front and the back. So I think there was an exit wound.
Okay. But still.
But the dad kept saying, he's like, my son's got a marble in him. I'm like, all right.
But then he just got up and acted like nothing. He's like, I'm going to have a cigarette. Like, I'm fine. He's walking around like nothing. It's like, dude, you just got shot in the stomach.
I feel like you'd be relatively okay.
Aha.
If a bullet went through like the side of your stomach and just went out, I feel like you'd be kind of okay.
I don't know. But I'm not imagining I'd kind of be like, all right, I'm ready for a smoke and walking around and stuff and like arguing with people. Like, he's pushing Francis. He's literally like just keeps pushing him. And I'm like, dude, doesn't it hurt you? Like it's not like blood like squirting out a little bit.
Well, that's why he's a future mob boss, and you just host a podcast.
That's true.
So yeah, we don't know who the rat is, but they keep mentioning a tape, and Francis kind of gives it away that maybe he is the bad guy because he like really keeps pushing for the tape, and then it gets to the point where, I mean, obviously Francis kills Dylan,
yeah,
but then he like won't leave. He's like, I need the tape. He's like, we can't let the mob boss get the tape. So I wonder why he wanted it so bad.
It really does seem like Francis is being genuine, even though he's kind of like a scumbag and the way he talks is very blunt and everything like that. Like, I do think he had the best intentions in mind.
Yeah, I mean, he also killed the mob boss's son.
Because he was pushed to that point. It wasn't like he gave him so many chances to be like, listen, you touch me one more time, I'm going to break your arm. And he's just like, well, yeah, fuck you. And he's like, all right, dude. I've told you literally 3 times I'm going to kill you if you don't stop. So
I know, but that's not how it works, dude.
I agree. But what did he say? He was just like, you're dead. He's digging deep. He's physically assaulting him. He's going after his like poor dad, like all this stuff.
Yeah, he's like, you're not going to be anything more than like a guy who sells tomatoes. And that was the last straw when he mentioned the vegetables.
Right. And he's just like, all right, you know what? Fuck you, sort of thing. I do want to ask you, though, once Dylan's dead, the son is dead, and he's put in the crate, and he's just bleeding, and Francis leaves, and then the dad starts talking to the cutter, just starts talking to him. He's like, tell me right now what happened. And he was about to. Do you think he is actually going to do it? Today's episode of Wheel of Horror is brought to you by Bard's Clothing. Remember that one time you bought a Cool Cat shirt, and now you get bombarded with calls and ads for Cool Cat shirts? Well, at Bard's Clothing, the focus is on you and your story. A custom clothing company producing casual knits, button-down shirts, suits, and much more. All of Bard's Clothing garments are created right here in America, so you don't have to worry about slave labor or killing the environment. Buying with intention to tell your story has never been easier. Go to bardsclothing.com to book an appointment, and be sure to follow them at Bard's Clothing on Instagram.
It looked like he was, and the whole time that he was there, I was like, why doesn't he tell him? Or like, why doesn't he go up to the bodyguard with the shotgun and be like, hey, like Francis is bad? But you find out at the end that he doesn't really want to. I think maybe he either changed his mind and realized like how far could he take this, because he was digging a pretty deep hole with these lies. Like he was making up really far-fetched stories.
I know, man. That was probably my favorite part of the movie, is just being like, how are they going to get out of this? How are they going to talk themselves out of this?
Yeah. When he made up the story where he's like, yeah, your son came in here and he was shot and he was mad that he didn't shoot any of the LaFontaine, so he had to go back out there. That's why he didn't take his coat. I was like, dude, you literally can't come back from this lie. Like, it's a really big lie.
Well, that whole lie, and then the phone thing too. And he's just like, oh, really? Brilliant. I'll tell them right away. Like that whole thing when he's lying on the phone. You're like, dude.
What if the mob boss was like, hey, tell him to hold. Tell him, don't hang up that phone. Like,
yeah. Or dude, what if the mob boss was like, hey, let me talk to him? Or like, what if that just happened? Like, why didn't he just go up and grab the phone and be like, oh, good, let me talk to this guy and find out what's going on?
He'd be like, oh, got disconnected.
Yeah.
Spotty service.
So he somehow manages to orchestrate this entire thing that literally could not have worked out more perfectly if they wanted to. I mean, everyone's dead, they have the money, and now they just get to walk away scot-free, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I will say the tension, I thought, once the African-American crew from wherever, New Orleans or whatever, they come in, and we think they kill Francis, and then the girl leaves. So everybody leaves, and I was like, all right, there's still like 15 minutes left. I was like, what the hell's going to happen in this movie? And then we find out Francis is still alive, and he's got a gun.
That seems bullshit, because first off, he was shot, 3 or 4 times, like in the chest and back at like within 5 feet range.
Right.
And at least 15 to 20 minutes passed where he was on the floor bleeding out. Like, no way. I'll say maybe he could stand up after 20 minutes and fire a shot off, but no way could he chase him around the room with the switchblade. 0 fucking chance.
I mean, that's how I feel about the guy smoking a cigarette with a gunshot in his stomach. I don't know. They make it seem like bullets in the 50s like don't do anything.
I mean, they were definitely shittier quality, but he was shot so close.
I know. Multiple times from 2 people in the back. You're right. A pool of blood just underneath him for at least 20 minutes as Mark Rylance is making a new suit and then burns down the building. And as he's burning down, the Francis like, you know what? I'm going to get up now. She gets up. That's the other thing. He says to, when all the guns are pointed at him at the end and he's got the gun, he's like, you have nothing to worry about, madam, blah, blah, blah. I took out all the bullets in his gun. He didn't do that.
Yeah, when Francis turned the revolver to look at it, I was like, you're an idiot.
You don't even need to turn it, dude. He didn't need to turn it to see if there was bullets in it.
I know. That was stupid.
And also, when would Mark Rylance have been able to do that? There wasn't a time where Francis took his gun out, put it on the table, and then, like, turned his back. Like, they didn't have it. So what? Like, I know it's just to confuse him for a second, but, like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, if he literally... Because in a revolver, you can see if you just look straight.
Right.
Like, bullet in there. So yeah, what if he was just like, no, you didn't?
Yeah, exactly.
Mark would have been like, yes, so I did. He'd be like, no, you didn't.
So that's why at the very end or whatever, right before the assistant leaves or whatever, she's like, you had this whole thing figured out from the start. And he smiles like, I sure did. It's like, dude, no, you didn't. And you're so lucky that Francis was like, I'm going to look first and pull the gun away and look. Like, everything rided on Francis being an idiot in that moment, basically.
Yeah, there were 3 parts that kind of bothered me. One was that because it was so incredibly stupid. The second was when all 3 of them were leaving, the boss, his bodyguard, and Francis. And like Francis kept asking the boss, like, maybe I should stay, just in case like something happens here. And he's like, no, I need all the guns possible. We're about to go have like a gang war with the LaFontaines, which Francis would have been killed if he went with them because they were ambushed.
Right.
And I just feel like no mob boss would say like, yeah, you just stay here when he's about to go like have a war with this other gang. So that was completely luck. And then 3 was when the cutter yelled at the mob boss when he touched his shears. He was like, don't touch those. I came over like overseas with those. Like, you would not yell at a mob boss like that.
You're 100%. Dude, I thought the same thing with Francis. I thought he was going to be like, shut up and get in the car. Like, how much clearer can I make it, Francis?
For a mob boss, he was extremely understanding. Like, he was listening to this like bullshit story that didn't make sense from the cutter and the assistant girl and Francis going back and forth, and he was like, "So where's my son?" So he sat down. He's like, "I don't know what to do." Dude, a mob boss would have shot someone's kneecap and been like, "I need the truth now." Like,
I mean, I guess we're also looking at this like from the 50s lens where we're not looking at like Goodfellas or like that kind of Sopranos, like all of that. We're looking at like old school mob where maybe they weren't into like breaking kneecaps just yet. You know, I don't know. But you're right. That guy was way too like, I'm going to just say what's convenient for the plot. Don't worry about what I probably should do. Yeah.
also, the amount of blood, like Francis cleaned up all traces of blood, not only on the floor, which would have required water, by the way, not just smearing it with suits.
Yeah.
But then he would have had blood all over him. And when he went to shake the boss's hands, he had no blood on his hands. I'm like, how the fuck did he do that?
I know. There were a couple moments like that where you're just like, this is a good movie, but there are a few things you're just like, all right. I guess I just got to suspend my disbelief for a minute there. But yeah, didn't he shoot his head? Like, wouldn't there be blood on the wall? Like skulls, parts on the wall. Like, shot him. Like, didn't he shoot him in the neck?
There'd be a lot of blood. And then when they picked him up and shoved him in the little treasure chest thing, there would have been blood on his suit. And then the boss would have been like, why is there blood on your suit? And then when the 400-pound bodyguard sat on the bench thing, it would have collapsed.
There was so much, dude. The fact that like throughout the movie, it just keeps going back to the blood dripping a little bit. It's like there should be a pool of blood coming out of that thing now. I mean, all of his blood is gushing out of him, and it's just kind of like drip. And then like at 20 minutes later, shows another one's like drip, drip. And you're like, all right, come on, guys. But overall, I mean, it's an entertaining movie. It's not anything I'm gonna rave about or be like, you haven't seen The Outfit or anything like that. But it's like watching a like murder mystery theater kind of.
Yeah, it was free on Paramount, right? I think I saw it on Paramount.
Oh, I had to pay for it on Peacock.
What? You paid for this?
I paid $5 to sign for Peacock. Yeah.
Nah, this is free on Paramount, guys. Don't pay for it like Alec. Oh yeah, fun fact, guys. Anytime you're gonna watch a movie, I literally type into Google where to stream this movie, and it just tells you where it is for free. So don't be like Alec and waste $5.
Well, I got to do Firestarter for Wheel of Horror too, so I was like,
wait, 2022?
Yeah.
I literally just finished Firestarter 2022.
What's it on?
Dude, it's free on Paramount.
God damn it! All right,
it's free. Dude.
All right, I gotta cancel Peacock tonight now.
Dude, why do you keep? I thought you were stealing Eric's free Peacock.
No, I steal his Paramount Plus, not Peacock. So I signed up for Peacock last night to watch Firestarter and this because I thought they were both on. God damn it!
Oh wait, no. I apologize. I saw The Outfit and Firestarter on my Peacock app.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, look who's a stupid son of a bitch.
I don't want to say too much because I'm gonna be a guest on Silver Screen Savers podcast tomorrow talking about it. But I liked it, dude. And people were like threatening to protest the Capitol over this. They're like, we will take down the government over Firestarter.
Well, it was, I know it's a remake of a 80s movie, a Stephen King 80s movie, but the trailer doesn't look great.
Oh no, dude, it's not. Listen, I never said this was great.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to jump into, I'm probably going to have to watch it tomorrow, but we're doing Firestarter 1984 and then Firestarter 2022. So we're doing both of them. And I don't know. I've never really seen a bad Stephen King adaptation, so I'm kind of excited, hoping this is good.
I'm not the biggest Drew Barrymore fan, and I'm especially not the biggest child Drew Barrymore fan. So when I looked up that she was in the original, like on the cover, I was like, no, not watching that.
You don't like E.T.?
Nah, it's fine. I just don't like Drew Barrymore.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. I mean, she's a nice lady. I don't know. She's got this new show, like the Drew Barrymore show. It's like it's basically like we're replacing Ellen or whatever.
What? Who the hell is gonna watch that?
Whoever was watching Ellen, I don't know. And apparently she's in hot water because she was saying some shit about Amber Heard that was like, hey, that's kind of mean. So she had to like apologize for it. Or she's been like her first season. She's already apologizing and stuff. Like, this isn't gonna work.
Yeah. So wait, you guys are doing Firestarter 1 and the remake in one episode, like a comparison?
No. So we're doing 2022 this upcoming Monday, so in 3 days, and then we're doing, I don't know, whenever the 1984 one gets chosen on the wheel. We probably should have done Firestarter for this episode, the 2022 one, and then did the 1984 one on Monday. That would have been smart. You know.
Yeah, you should honestly just combine it to one episode and do a comparison. But anyway, this is besides the point. It's not bad. It's not bad. Get off Zac Efron's balls, everybody.
Well, yeah. But I mean, this outfit movie, did you have a favorite actor as like a standout to you besides Dylan O'Brien, who I know you want to like jerk him off or whatever?
I liked Francis because he had like a rough gangster face. Like you could tell he kind of reminded me of one of those guys that would be in like the Great Movie Adventure Ride in Disney.
Yeah.
Where he's just like, "What's in your wallet, folks?" You know, the guy that like robs the trade.
Dude, you love that ride. I remember I know. I just remember when that ride closed down, you were like, "Fuck Disney." You were like so done.
Dude, I mentioned it on I'm throwing out a lot of names this weekend or this episode, but Hops Geek News, I was on for their episode yesterday, the Star Wars original trilogy, and one of their hosts, Lauren, goes to like all the events because she lives in Orlando. And I told her how mad I was when that ride closed.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Check out that episode too, because we talked about the original trilogy and it was sick.
I just want to say this really quick too. You know Brent, the guy we play Halo with who lives out here?
Yes.
He literally looks like a clone of Francis, dude.
But yeah, touching up on my favorite character, I would say it's the Cutter dude. I mean, there's only like 7 actors in the movie.
Yeah.
But I would say him because, and we can go to the ending now, when he rolled up his sleeves and you saw the gang tats, I was like, oh, that was sick.
Yeah, that was a nice little touch at the end. Because the entire movie, dude, you think he's this like sad British Kermit the Frog, like little Muppet guy. And he's just like, oh, like he's always moaning and like looking down. He's like, I don't know, sir. Like he's just like sad.
Dude, when Francis hit him in the head with the revolver,
yeah,
that was so unnecessary.
I was like, hey, he's old and British. Don't do that. And then he just, dude, at the end, yeah, he's like, just so you know, I used to fucking kill people every day for fun. And it's just like, oh my God. And he's like all these like snake tattoos and like all this crazy stuff. And he just keeps stabbing. No. Did he stab him with the shear or did he sit there for a second? He's like, you know what? My wife wouldn't like this very much. What did he do?
No, he didn't stab him. He got shot, and then did he like stab him through the throat? I don't remember.
He definitely stabbed him once, but then at the end when he was like, you know, getting his old life back, and he was like, I'm gonna use the shears and just fucking gut him. He didn't though. He waited for a second, and then he bled out, and he's just like, yeah.
I don't remember, to be honest.
Yeah, but I did like that little twist at the end. Oh, the other thing we didn't mention, the receptionist, she is, you know, Lea Thompson from Back to the Future.
Mm-hmm.
That's her daughter.
Okay, she looked really familiar.
Yeah, she has like her mom's hair for sure, but not so much the face. But I was like, that from behind, that really looks like McFly.
That was an odd way to put it, but yeah,
the same side. Well, because Marty McFly's mom is in 1955, and then this is 1956. I'm just saying, there's a connection there.
Anyway, yeah, 7.1. I would give it. I'd give it a 7.3.
Wow. You liked it more than I did.
Yeah, I mean, I also didn't pay. I mean,
Wait, how do you watch it? What's your Peacock deal? How are you getting it for free?
Oh, I don't know. I just pay $5 a month, but I didn't like, you know, it just gets charged automatically. You took out your card, you entered it, you turned it over for the security code, and you're like,
I probably dropped it on the ground. It's like, oh, or enter the number wrong. It's like, fuck. But yeah, no, yeah. Anyways, yeah, I'd give it a 7. I mean, it's entertaining. You know, it's not gonna blow your mind, but it's a fun movie. You know, Matt Banniver's gonna love this movie.
Oh yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't really have much else to say about this. It's kind of
that's it.
Yeah. Anyways, if you haven't had a chance, check out all the episodes Justin dropped throughout this episode. He's been making the rounds with all the Twitter podcasts. You want to name those ones again that you just did recently?
Yeah, Star Wars original trilogy on Hops Geek News. And then tomorrow I'll be recording Firestarter 2022 on Silver Screensavers podcast. Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, if you haven't had a chance, we did release our episode on The Sixth Sense this past Monday for Wheel of Horror. And then on Monday, we'll be doing our own review of Firestarter. We're going to have Don Berger, who read the book, so he's going to tell us all the differences. So get ready for that. Anyways, everybody have a great week. And Justin, fuck you.
All right.